Hello then, and welcome to Evolution Sim Racing. 'Tis I, Lord Pendlebury. Now, they say in the trade, I'm not sure if this is the trade, don't work with children or animals. Well, I had animals in a previous one, and here is a children. He's quite a bit older since he last featured, and we're going to try and get him to tell us what we're doing tonight. So, hey, Roo. Oh, it's... Right, Roo. Can you say dirt? Oh dear. Okay, well, this hasn't gone well, so we'll try it again some other time. But yeah, we're going to be in the dirt mini stocks at USA International. Change from the usual tonight. We'll be doing three shorter 20-minute races, I think. Look, he's demonstrating the same level of ability that I have. Right, wow. And now he's causing carnage. So, yeah, anyway, if you're a member of iRacing and you'd like to come and get involved, there's some reasons over here. There's a website down there, evolutionsimracing.com. And incidentally, if you don't want this kind of thing in your life, don't use down there. But yeah, let's crack on with this week's highlights. Well, hello then, and welcome to USA International Speedway. That seems like an awfully massive title for what looks like a very regional bit of dirt that's shaped in a circle. Anyway, it's going to be a little bit different this week, so we're going to be in the dirt mini stocks, and we're going to have 3 sprint races. No pit stops will feature this evening, 20 minutes for each of the sprint races. So yeah, let's crack on with the grid and see what those times were on when they did some qualifying, I suppose. And I've literally forgotten where I go to. Oh, grids, that's it. I was looking for qualifying. Fuck me sideways. That was useless, wasn't it? Anyway, Will Thomas, he is stuck it on pole position. He's looking to continue his fine form from Interlagos. He's got Pendlebury for company alongside. Jeff Sharp is then in 3rd place with Jamie Nicholson alongside him. Steve Everson, first of the AM category. He has Steve Moore for company. Chris Palmer, he was then in 7th with Josh Morris, returning to the series this race. First race of the series for Josh Morris. I'm going to keep on saying Josh Morris is racing for the first time this series. He put it on 3rd. Mickey Dolan was then in 4th place. Dan Slattery, he was in 6th place in category. Slattery category, that rhymes, that's fun, isn't it? Axel Edwards, he is then in 5th place with Paul Nicholson alongside in 12th. And I think that's everyone, which would be handy if, yeah, that's the end of the music as well. So, yeah, let's fuck this off and then start doing some hillbilly highlights. Well then, 2 pace laps have almost been completed. The pace car will peel into the pits. And it's all on Will Thomas to decide when to go. And that is now absolutely rockets away from the pack. Pendlebury goes with him, as does Jeff Sharp. Oh, there's contact. Already an incident. And that is Chris Palmer and somebody else going around. Jamie Nicholson, by the looks of things. It is indeed. Oh, and there's more carnage. Fuck me sideways. That's Jeff Sharp. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking hell, guys. This is absolutely shit. I had no idea that happened. Oh, my God. I am going to have a lot of fun looking at the replays. It's just a smattering of crashing. Christ almighty. That was fucking awful. That's... Take a look back and see. Oh, this is quite a long way away. Let's try let's try the old chopper. There we go. I have amended the chopper camera, so we're a little bit closer to the action, and we can see as Chris Palmer circles around one of the very distinct corners here on this bit of dirt. Where is he? Let's bring up the race information. That will infinitely help everyone. I mean, I don't think we necessarily need it, but there's the track map as well, just for reference as well. And we are already 1 minute and 21 seconds into this race, and nobody is anywhere near anybody in each category apart from Pendlebury and Thomas. Oh, and that's Pendlebury has gone through on Thomas. That looked like it was a very clean move. We'll take a look at it though, because it does say Will Thomas crashed. Well then, and with that, well actually Chris Palmer is now somewhere close to the person he's racing against, Axel Edwards, just up ahead. Jamie Nicholson and Chris Palmer already had a bit of beef in this race. Oh, Palmer. Palmer just fucking plows into the back of Edwards. See you later, he says. Third place then secured for Chris Palmer. That is Jamie Nicholson up his inside as well. No, Steve Moore and Steve Everson have apparently had a crash. Not sure whether it was together. Well, that rather suggests that it was the two of them together. They're both in the barriers. I've done a fantastic job in this race so far of missing every single accident. Too busy messaging my sister. And Will Thomas is looking like he is very close to the back of Dan Slattery. So it might look like we're in a low budget area here, but no expense has been spared in the amount of drones and airships they've got circling this place. We've got the drone cam, we've got the blimp. We've also got a helicopter which is flying at a questionably low altitude and somehow navigating its way through all of the floodlights. And that looks like it's Will Thomas going up the inside of Slattery. Nope, he's not, just running different lines here. Well, it does look like Will Thomas has got the pace on Slattery. Slattery currently 3.2 seconds off the back of Pendlebury, who's leading the way in the pro category. And now Will Thomas gets past Dan Slattery, claims that second place and drives into the barrier for good measure. Who else is close on track? Not a huge amount. Palmer and someone. Where is Chris Palmer? There he is. Oh, he's up the inside of... Why are you guys... You're in the same category. Why are you not showing as being close together? Oh, that's because... yeah, Paul Nicholson is a lap down. That makes sense. Sharp, however, is right on the back of Josh Morris. And now right in front of Josh Morris. That is how overtaking works. Right then, fuck me sideways. That was a... interesting start to the race. Now let's see if we can try and unpick it. Now that's where Jamie Nicholson and Chris Palmer get together. Everyone else kind of gets away with it, apart from Josh Morris, who ends up in the barriers. But then something else happens down here. Jeff Sharp getting into the back of... Well, actually, let's just start that. Oh my fucking... Oh god, that is absolutely incredible. Where's Jeff Sharp's crash? Let's start from there and see what triggered all of this. So Jeff Sharp, the car on the inside, down at the bottom of the screen, and well, he just it's hard to say who's to blame. Steve Everson absolutely nails him. Then Steve Moore's into the back of him. Then Paul Nicholson ends up on his roof doing a full barrel roll. Then Axel Edwards and Josh Morris just plough their way through Steve Everson, as does Chris Palmer. Then Jeff Sharp makes one hell of a move on the inside of Chris Palmer there. That was fucking magnificent. I tell you what, that is going right into the next intro video for the highlights. Now, this is Will Thomas's crash with Pendlebury. And Pendlebury's just going in there, and it looks like the faintest of touches from this conveniently far away vantage point. Let's go with the chopper, see what it looks like from there. And, well, I mean, it just has to be said that Will Thomas just seems to stop mid-corner, inviting the punt from behind. I am, of course, joking only a little bit. We have established that myself and Will take very different approaches into the corners, and I carry more speed through that section of the corner, whereas he doesn't. So, yeah, 50-50 blame for me. Steve Moore, then, has had a crash with... well, it looks like the same thing as Pendlebury, just taking his line and just a different line driven by Steve Everson. I will use anyone and anything to make my points. Steve Everson absolutely sends it into the barrier there whilst trying to turn it round. Oh, it sounds like, oh, there's carnage there. Axel Edwards and somebody involved. I love that this is really working, this, the way it's... Where are you? Oh, there you are. There's Axel Edwards driving along the barriers. Not sure who he had coming together with there. Not particularly useful that when I focus on crashes, iRacing Directors decides that something's not a crash. Oh, Edwards looks like he was over-rotating slightly there, and he was. Anyway. Josh Morris getting a decent run there out of turn 4, or turn 2 as it really is if you can count. And he looks on the inside, oh, and Mickey Dolan disappears just at the right time because it looked like Josh Morris was going to be going up into him. Jamie Nicholson on the outside of Josh Morris, not really his battle as these are the AM drivers. Everyone's obviously battling each other as well, though. That's not throwing any shade at... Oh, no! Disaster strikes. Oh, I don't know. Axel Edwards was close to collecting them up as well there, but unfortunate for Josh Morris. He drops down then into 3rd place, and he's now got Pendlebury for company. Jeff Sharp, what on earth's gone on here? Jeff Sharp, where's Dan Slattery? Dan Slattery's over there. I assume he's made some form of error because Jeff Sharp has got past him. Well, Paul Nicholson and Axel Edwards getting into strife. Now, Paul Nicholson clearly far enough ahead of Axel Edwards, but then spins all the way around. Axel Edwards absolutely shit mixes the side of him, and yeah, they then end up doing a little bit of smoochy down by the barriers. Now, this is what happened to Dan Slattery. He was up the inside of Will Thomas, and oh, and then there's there's contact and then some. Will Thomas, perhaps angry about being taken out from the lead by Lord Pendlebury, absolutely turns Dan Slattery there. Oh, and something's happened to Mickey Dolan there. Where are you, Mickey Dolan? Oh no, that's Chris Palmer. So Chris Palmer's just cut past Mickey Dolan. I think Mickey Dolan had gone up into the barriers there. That slowed him down and has handed the lead of the AM category to Chris Palmer as it stands with just 5 minutes to go this one. Can Chris Palmer hold on? Oh, Chris Palmer in the lead of the AM category, and he has just sent it into the barriers there. It may not be fatal. I'll tell you what, that might be fatal. Oh, he's going all over the place. Oh, and Pendlebury's into the back of him because he's going all over the place. And oh no, now's not the time for a pit stop, Chris. He was in the lead. I didn't know he was in the lead when that happened. Oh no, that's not ideal. And something's happened to Mickey Dolan as well. Fuck me sideways. It's all gone off. Mickey Dolan's facing backwards and blinking, indicating with his whole car, it seems. So all of a sudden, Josh Morris has gone from 3rd to 1st in the space of 30 seconds. Or a lap, in other words. Oh my goodness, well, we'll have to have a look at that again. But, yes. Josh Morris only has to hold on for a couple more laps to pluck the victory from... well, pluck his first victory from his first race of the season. Chris Palmer is now ahead of Steve Everson. Where are they? Where are you? There you are. Let's go to a... Well, they're side by side, and this is the battle for 2nd place. Mickey Dolan now all the way down in 4th after that spin. It continues side by side. Palmer on the outside line. Everson on the inside line. You can see the surface here is getting slicker and slicker, hence a couple of the mistakes we have seen. Meanwhile, Lord Pendlebury has won. There he is. He has won at the Pro category. Josh Morris has won the AM category. What can Steve Everson do? Palmer takes a very different line there. And across the line they go. Well... tasty scenic shot with the fireworks. Fireworking, I suppose. Well then, let's take a look then at those results First up, we have the Pro category. Well, Lord Pendlebury won by 4.1 seconds to Will Thomas, although controversial contacts between the two of them could make race 2 interesting if someone is looking for revenge. Jeff Sharp rounded out the podium, obviously caught up in those early lap dramas, but he manages to recover well. Dan Slattery, he ended up finishing in 4th with Jamie Nicholson in 5th. Steve Moore was a lap down, he was in 6th place. On to the AM category then, and as said in commentary in a very succinct manner, Josh Morris in his first race of the season has taken his first win of the season. He was 12.9 seconds ahead of Chris Palmer after he was also unceremoniously sent through the pits by Lord Pendlebury. Steve Everson had a cracking couple of laps battle with Chris Palmer once he'd come out from his pit stop. But ended up finishing just 0.7 of a second behind him. Mickey Dolan was leading the way for a fair chunk of that race, but ended up finishing in 4th after that spin. Axel Edwards, he was then in 5th place, 1 lap down, with Paul Nicholson retiring 25 laps down from the end. Well, as ever, we will take a very quick break and be back very shortly for the highlights of the second sprint race of the evening. Hello there and welcome back to Evolution Sim Racing. We are getting ready for our second sprint race of the evening and of course our 12th round of the season so far. We are still at the USA International Speedway in the Dirt Mini Stocks, and it's time for the first time tonight, because we can have it twice, the game of Guess That Livery. Well, on pole position then, it looks like it's Dan Slattery. He is accompanied by Steve Moore. We then have Jamie Nicholson with Will Thomas alongside. It's then Lord Pendlebury and Jeff Sharp. That rounds out the Pro category. We then have Josh Morris starting in pole position with Paul Nicholson in 2nd place. We then have Mickey Dolan with Axel Edwards alongside him. And then at the last row of the grid and in the AM category is Steve Everson and Chris Palmer. Fuck me, guys. That's the best I think I've ever done Guess the Livery. So, yeah. Let's crack on. Well then, we are waiting for the safety car to peel in, and it is in, and Dan Slattery wastes no time. He heads off straight away. He's left Steve Moore lagging behind, so much so that somebody is already up his inside. I need to quickly sprint across to SDK Gaming so I can focus on crashes. Now, and there's the first one. Steve Everson goes round, collected by Axel Edwards. I didn't see the start of that incident, but that's not a good start for him. Now, in the first race, all started kicking off pretty early doors. Let's see if it happens this time round as well. Jeff Sharp for Team 19 Racing. He's on the outside of Will Thomas. Oh, and that's Dan Slattery. He's been turned around by... Oh, no. He's been turned around by Jamie Nicholson. And then that was, well... Pendlebury and Jamie Nicholson came off the worst. Will Thomas was also involved. We will, of course, go back and take a look and see what happened there. Well, Mickey Dolan looking up the inside of Paul Nicholson then for the lead in the AM category. Paul Nicholson runs quite a long way out wide, so far out wide that I can't even see him anymore. And therefore Mickey Dolan does get through. Axel Edwards and Steve Everson not too far off the back of this one. Mickey Dolan on the inside. Axel, no, go away. There's a cat standing on my keyboard, and that is less than ideal. What's less than ideal is also Mickey Dolan's connection quality. Paul Nicholson runs wide, and that allows Axel Edwards up the inside. Let's keep an eye on that one. Oh, they're close as they go in. Paul Nicholson runs it deep. That seems to be the line he is preferring. Pendlebury looking to get involved as well. He was obviously taken out early doors in this race. Oh, I don't know how they are touching, but they have managed to avoid taking each other out. Pendlebury goes up the inside of both of them. Steve Everson now looking to get involved. Paul Nicholson says, "Who the fuck are you, Pro category Pendlebury? You can sod right off. I'm not letting you pass without a fight." Everson looking up the inside of Edwards, but unable to do anything. Pendlebury switches back underneath Paul Nicholson. Good racing here. Also have the number 24 car of Dan Slattery. He is in 5th place after we obviously saw the tail end of him getting taken out early in this race. And Paul Nicholson now dropping back. He's passed by Axel Edwards. Steve Everson will look to make it a double feature. Oh, he's into the side of him, and Everson goes round. In case of 2 into 1, doesn't really go. I mean, there's enough space to get 7 wide, but unfortunately for Steve Everson, he is now just sat down by the barriers waiting for everybody to go by. Manages to get himself turned around now, though, but that has really put the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of his... Well, I suppose it hasn't really put the cat amongst the pigeons. It's very much removed the cat from the pigeons, because it's going to be a boring cruise now. He is 20 seconds behind Paul Nicholson and 14 seconds ahead of Chris Palmer. Oh, no. Jamie Nicholson appears to have drifted up and hit Chris Palmer. Chris Palmer drifts across the track. Oh, no. Steve Moore gets absolutely fucking shit mixed there. And that, unfortunately, means that... well, I can't remember where Chris Palmer was. I know that Jamie Nicholson wasn't having a fantastic race, but that has not gone well for those two. Not the first time they've come together this season. Well, then, we jump on board with Jeff Sharp down the back straight. Not that you could really tell the difference. It's been a pretty easy cruise for him towards the end of this race. Well, I say towards the end of the race, all race long, he slowly ekes that gap out to Will Thomas, and he takes the checkered flag. Jumping on board then with Mickey Dolan. Here he is. Now he's coming down the back straight. We'll go for a slightly different view for good old Mickey Dolan. Let's chase him with the chopper. Got Pendlebury just behind him, but of course Pendlebury not in the race with Mickey Dolan. And across the line, Mickey Dolan goes. Well then, let's take a look and see what happened to Dan Slattery. He was out wide, Jamie Nicholson just a bit lower, and then Slattery comes down, and well, he just gets turned. And then really the crash goes on. Let's go and have a look and see, because Jamie Nicholson is obviously slow. Then Pendlebury kind of gets into the back of him. That gives Will Thomas a fantastic run. Will Thomas just absolutely goes into the back of Pendlebury, which in turn sends him into the back of Jamie Nicholson. And yeah, unfortunate. Oh dear! That I did not spot. Jamie Nicholson. That is, I think, in a season where we have had such in a season where we have had an absolute plethora of terrible rejoins. That has to be right up there. He firstly takes out Chris Palmer, and then almost takes out Dan Slattery. And of course, we see later in the race that Jamie Nicholson seemingly has a vendetta against Chris Palmer, because there's then that later incident where he takes him out as well. Now, this is what happened between Jamie Nicholson and Chris Palmer for the second time. Jamie Nicholson has a much better run, and just... he just seems to drift up into him. I'm afraid we can't really... I mean, I did blame Chris Palmer for an incident. Well, I tell you what, I do blame him for that. That is not good. Shouldn't be drifting back across the track like that. Causes all sorts of pain for Steve Moore. But yeah, I don't think we can blame Chris Palmer for the initial contact. That just looked like Jamie Nicholson just drifting up a little bit. Well, onto the scenic cameras then. Let's go and take a look at those results. This time starting with the AM category. Mickey Dolan then took the win with Paul Nicholson. Wow, I tell you what, everybody was at least one lap behind him. Paul Nicholson and Axel Edwards, second and third, they were a lap down. Steve Everson and Chris Palmer, fourth and fifth, they were 2 laps down. And Josh Morris, he was 44 laps down at the end. I didn't see what happened to Josh Morris. Maybe we'll see that in the replays. Maybe we won't. Live in doubt, people. In the pro category, Jeff Sharp took the win quite comfortably. The path just opened up ahead of him and he very much walked down it. Will Thomas was then in second place after taking out Lord Penderbury, perhaps in response and looking for a bit of retribution for Penderbury is taking out of him in the first race. But Penderbury still came through to finish third. Dan Slattery then, he was fourth place with Steve Moore then in fifth, a lap down. With Jamie Nicholson, we saw that incident between him and Chris Palmer. That put him in sixth and 2 laps down. Well, we will take another very quick break and then we will be back for the race highlights for the third and final sprint race of the evening. Well, hello then, and welcome back to USA International Raceway for the third and final race of this evening. And, well, it's, yeah, I think I've basically said everything that's in that overlay there, other than the fact that it is round 13 of the season, and it's time for the second time this evening. My God, you guys have gobbled up some great content today. It's everybody's second favourite game, Guess That Livery. And this time round we were doing a reverse grid of the first race. No, second race, sorry. So yeah, we then have, that's full reverse grid as well. It's not just the pro category at the front. So Josh Morris then on the pole position place. Then it's Chris Palmer. We then have Jamie Nicholson followed by Steve Everson. Axel Edwards, the number 95 machine, just pulling away there. He's got Steve Moore for company. It's then Paul Nicholson accompanied by Dan Slattery. We then have Lord Penderbury and he has Mickey Dolan on his outside. Then it is Will Thomas with race 2 winner Jeff Sharp. Right, let's sack this slow motion off and get straight to the start of the race. Well, for the third and final time, for the second time, the pace car pulls away. This is perhaps not the camera angle to be focusing on accidents because it's going to keep on flitting between everyone. And that's Jeff Sharp sending it 3 wide at the back there. He's looking to make some serious progress. Almost goes into the back of Dan Slattery. For the lead, we have Josh Morris side by side with Chris Palmer. Chris Palmer takes that. A little bit of rubbing his racing towards the back between Paul Nicholson and Lord Penderbury. Penderbury, oh no, Penderbury has been turned for the second race in succession by Will Thomas. Will Thomas really trying to get his revenge for race 1, it would seem, and that, the completely innocent body, was Jeff Sharp, and then Jamie Nicholson, who has had absolutely atrocious luck in this race, goes round. So does Axel Edwards. Penderbury manages to get through. Axel Edwards holding his brakes very wisely there. Otherwise, it could have ended in disaster. Let's head back to the start, or the front of the grid, that is. Oh, that's Slattery and Josh Morris making a little bit of contact. Nothing happens there, though. Slattery gets his nose underneath, and that is a very nice move. But Josh Morris will look to get the double switcheroo, I suppose it would be. And he sends it up the inside of Slattery. Josh Morris has been a real fiend when it comes to the dirt ovals, knows what he is doing. Has some real world experience as well to go with it, and as proven by him winning the first race. That's what's his name, Will Thomas, sliding up his inside. I tell you what, Will Thomas, you've raced with us for seasons, yet it still somehow fucking baffles me trying to remember your name. Well, here's the incident between Thomas, Penderbury and Sharp, and well, Penderbury just gets turned up into Sharp, then Sharp gets taken out, Penderbury's got taken out. And this is what happened a little bit further ahead. And, Jamie Nicholson just into the back of someone. Fucking hell, this is awful. Anyway, we'll end the replays there because, frankly, I am lost because my event recording stopped. Oh no, and Dan Slattery's turned Will Thomas now. Perhaps being paid by Penderbury to do so. Penderbury laughs his arse off as he drives past. So does Jeff Sharp, because Sharp was also caught up in that incident on the first lap. But once again, the third race in a row. The grid has become very spread out after early lap chaos. Let's bring up some race information so we know what the hell is going on. Well, it's starting getting awfully congested then in this portion of the track. You got Josh Morris ahead. And then, oh, it's a right little gaggle of cars just behind him. Here they are, all four of them. Pendlebury leading them. And Mickey Dolan, Jamie Nicholson, and Jeff Sharp all there. Jamie Nicholson on the outside then of Mickey Dolan. Now that has left the door open for Jeff Sharp. He will look to try and get through. Pendlebury's through on Josh Morris in the foreground as well. Oh, and there's contact between Sharp and Nicholson. Oh, it's clumsy. They managed to avoid a full spin there, but that does cost them both a little bit of time. You see Will Thomas in the background as well. He will be looking to try and get involved with this battle if he can do. Josh Morris and Mickey Dolan. Mickey Dolan's got past Josh Morris. Josh Morris looks to retort and come straight back up his inside. But unfortunately they're not related, so Josh cannot do that. Oh no, and something's gone wrong. Mickey Dolan involved. Who's gone wrong? It's Axel Edwards down at the bottom of the track. And back to the pit lane he goes. Oh, and that is Jamie Nicholson into the barriers. And something's happened to Pendlebury because he is all of a sudden behind Jeff Sharp and Josh Morris, two drivers that he was not behind. Oh, Slattery goes up and into Steve Everson. Does look like there's a mismatch in speed. That has not gone. Oh no, and there's more contact by the sounds of things. Maybe not, but yeah, unfortunately, then that has not gone well. Oh, this is what happened to Axel Edwards then. Goes in and just, wow, gets into the back of Steve Everson, goes round, and then the onslaught of cars are coming, and Pendlebury could not avoid him as he came down the track. And also got Mickey Dolan involved. So Will Thomas is applying some considerable pressure here to Jamie Nicholson. We are in the very, very closing stages of this one. In fact, I think we're probably... we actually might be on the last lap as it stands. Oh, a quick look at Steve Moore. Where is he? Oh, no, he may well be on the last lap now. We'll go back to the battle between Everson... No, not Everson. Between Nicholson and Thomas. Looks like it might have just about settled down. As Steve Moore looks like he's rounding the final corner, and he will hold on to claim... Well, I say hold on, he's 10 seconds ahead. It's not exactly holding on. It's a comprehensive victory there for Steve Moore. Let's keep an eye on that battle between Jamie Nicholson... Oh, well, there's Jamie Nicholson. And he did hold on from Will Thomas. Hang on a minute. Dan Slattery has ended up in third place, so what on earth happened there? Chris Palmer takes his... first win of the evening, and indeed his only one because we don't have any more races. Here is Chris Palmer. This is what happened then between Jamie Nicholson and Chris. No, not fucking Chris. Will Thomas, and yeah, just into the rear. I was too busy getting his name wrong that I couldn't really tell you whose fault that was. But yeah, that incident. Well, that unfortunately has cost. Jamie Nicholson third place and Will Thomas fourth place. They both dropped down a position.
Bonjour. Well, bonjour. Je m'appelle Charles Leclerc, and welcome to another incident of the week. Now, we have moved on from Jeff Sharp. He is not featuring this time round. This time it is your Pendlebury. And, well, let's move on with the footage and see what we can see. Oh, we might have been a bit too slow at this point. Well, let's go at half speed. And firstly, you'll notice, Chrissy Palmer, he's all over the place, up and down, like he's on a pogo stick. And he swings up into the path of Pendlebury, and Pendlebury kaboosh into his rear end. And yeah, maybe a little bit of shoveling from Lord Pendlebury. And where's Chris Palmer gone? Oh dear, he's in the pit lane, and that is not good at this time of the race. There's only a couple of laps to go. This was an ill-informed decision from Chris Palmer. But let's go back and take a look at it at full racing speed, and then we will come through with our judgment. Where are you, Lord Pendlebury? There we go. Now let's go. And yeah, well, I mean, I'd say the first part is on Chris Palmer, because he's all over the place, but he does get rather shoveled into the pit lane. Fortunately, though, this week we do have Gunther Steiner with us. So, Gunther, what do you think?
Oh, wait, he fox smashes him in the rear door, doesn't he?
Well, that is a damning review there from Gunther Steiner. But yes, it would appear the music is over. So yes, no judgments this week. So yeah, well, join us next week for another incident of the week. This time I'm going to go with the pro category first, simply because when I select them, I just leave it on the last one that I did. So that's why it pendulums back and forth. Just a little behind the scenes for you there, if you were interested. So yeah, Steve Moore, comprehensive victory, 10 seconds ahead of Jeff Sharp in second. Dan Slattery then finished in third. Will Thomas and Jamie Nicholson clearly had a coming together, which, well, I say we'll go and have a look back. I need to go and have a look back at it, but I'll probably put it in the highlights a little bit earlier on than this point. So yeah, that was the way that panned out. Pendlebury ended up having a shocker of a result after that incident with Axel Edwards. So that rounds out the pro category. Let's take a look at the AM category. Chris Palmer, eloquent wafting. Oh, it's Jonathan Wass. Anyway, yes, for eloquent. Fuck's sake, I can't even say. Never mind. Chris Palmer, he won, and if Steve Moore's victory was comprehensive, then well, Chris Palmer's was double that, because it was 20 seconds ahead of Josh Morris in second. Steve Everson was then in third place. We then had Paul Nicholson fourth place, 4 laps down. Mickey Dolan, he was in fifth, 10 laps down, and Axel Edwards 25 laps down from the end there. Let's clear that away and take a look then at the championship standings. Now, who are we going to be starting with? It's the pro category. Well, Jeff Sharp continues to lead the way, and he has extended his lead from Lord Pendlebury, 257 points to Sharp, and 238 points for Lord Pendlebury. We then have Will Thomas. He has not raced that much this season, but he has rocketed up the table. He is in third place. And he is very distracting, seeing the Destruction Derby going on in the background, and I know I'm going to get some complaints about not showing it, but I can't be arsed, so fuck you. Jamie Nicholson is then in fourth on 129 points, with Steve Moore just 2 points back on 127. It's then 20 points back to Dan Slattery in sixth, with James Hurlow in seventh on 105 points, and Chris Hulse in eighth on 105 points. Those two dropping down 3 positions respectively, having not raced this evening. In the AM category then, Chris Palmer, he continues to lead the way. He's got Steve Everson just 12 points further back. Axel Edwards is then in third on 194 points. It's then Mickey Dolan in fourth on 155 points. 97 points goes to Brian Dodd. He didn't race this evening, so not going up in the standings for him, but equally didn't lose any positions. Trav Dorado is then on 83 points in sixth, with Paul Nicholson in seventh on 68 points, and Josh Morris only raced tonight in this season. He is on 53 points, a first place and a second place, his two most notable results this evening. He has done very well there. Right then, well, thank you very, very much for watching. Next week we are going to Mosport. We're heading to Canada, to one of the great tracks this planet has to offer us, and we are going to be in the Indy Pro something 18. I don't know. Either way, it's not the IndyCar. It's the entry level IndyCar. So yeah, join us for that next week.